The year is 2024. The American political landscape is once again dominated by Donald J. Trump. His potential return has ignited a firestorm of debate. Supporters see him as a beacon of hope. Critics view Trump's ambitions with trepidation and alarm. They point to his tumultuous first term. The stage is set for a high-stakes battle for the soul of America. Perhaps the most damning critiques of Trump come not from his political opponents, but from those who served in his own administration. These individuals, once loyal insiders, have emerged to offer first-hand accounts of Trump's leadership style.
Miles Taylor, a former Department of Homeland Security official, anonymously penned a scathing op-ed in 2018, describing Trump's decision-making process as reckless and amoral. He later revealed his identity and wrote a book detailing his experiences, further fueling concerns about Trump's fitness for office.
John Bolton, Trump's former national security advisor, is another prominent voice of dissent. In his memoir, Bolton depicts Trump as woefully uninformed on foreign policy matters, often prioritizing his personal interests over national security. He describes a president who is easily manipulated by foreign adversaries and dismissive of expert advice. These insider accounts provide a rare glimpse into the inner workings of the Trump administration. They raise serious questions about Trump's temperament, his competence, and his commitment to democratic principles. Trump's America First foreign policy doctrine has left a trail of shattered alliances and heightened global instability in its wake. From his withdrawal from the Iran nuclear deal to his imposition of tariffs on China, Trump has shown a willingness to upend decades of diplomatic norms.
Trump's disdain for multilateralism and his transactional approach to foreign policy have alienated America's closest allies. His cozy relationships with authoritarian leaders like Vladimir Putin of Russia and Kim Jong-un of North Korea have further eroded America's standing on the world stage. Critics argue that Trump's foreign policy has made America less safe, emboldening adversaries and undermining the international order. They point to the rise of China as a global power and the resurgence of Russia's aggression as evidence of Trump's failures on the world stage. Trump's supporters, however, argue that he is simply putting America's interests first, challenging a global system they believe has taken advantage of the United States for too long. They applaud his willingness to stand up to China and his efforts to renegotiate trade deals.
Central to Trump's vision for a second term is Project 2025, an ambitious plan crafted by conservative think tanks to dramatically reshape the federal government. This blueprint, shrouded in secrecy, outlines a far-reaching agenda to dismantle the administrative state and consolidate power in the hands of the executive branch.
Project 2025 calls for a radical downsizing of the federal bureaucracy, eliminating entire agencies and programs deemed unnecessary or hostile to Trump's agenda. It envisions a government staffed by loyalists, individuals deeply committed to Trump's vision and willing to carry out his directives without question.
This plan represents a fundamental shift in the balance of power within the American government. Critics argue that Project 2025 is a blueprint for authoritarianism, a systematic dismantling of the checks and balances that have long defined American democracy. Section 5, Schedule F, Reshaping the Federal Landscape. One of the most controversial elements of Project 2025 is Schedule F, an executive order that would give the president sweeping authority to fire career civil servants and replace them with political appointees. This order, if implemented, would have profound consequences for the functioning of the federal government.
Schedule F would effectively politicize the civil service, transforming it from a body of neutral professionals into an arm of the executive branch. This would erode the institutional knowledge and expertise that have long been the hallmarks of the American bureaucracy.
Critics argue that Schedule F would lead to a less competent and more corrupt government, as unqualified individuals are appointed to positions of power based on their loyalty to the president rather than their merit. They fear that Schedule F would undermine the rule of law and erode public trust in government. Section 6, a chorus of dissent, concerns over Project 2025. The unveiling of Project 2025 has been met with a chorus of dissent from legal scholars, former government officials, and democracy watchdog groups. They warn that this plan represents a grave threat to the future of American democracy.
Critics argue that Project 2025 would concentrate an unprecedented amount of power in the hands of the president, effectively dismantling the separation of powers that has long been a cornerstone of American governance. They fear that this power grab would lead to tyranny, with the president able to rule by decree without any meaningful checks on his authority.
Furthermore, critics express concern that Project 2025 would lead to a less effective and less accountable government. By gutting the civil service and replacing experienced professionals with political appointees, they argue that the quality of government services would decline and corruption would flourish. Section 7. The Shadow of Revenge. Trump's vow for retribution. Trump has repeatedly made it clear that he is a man who never forgets a slight. He has a long history of seeking revenge against those he perceives as his enemies, and he has made no secret of his desire to use the power of the presidency to settle scores.
From his calls to lock her up, directed at Hillary Clinton, to his attacks on the media and his own Justice Department, Trump has repeatedly demonstrated a willingness to use the levers of power to punish his opponents. This vindictive streak has raised serious concerns about what a second Trump term might hold.
Critics fear that a second Trump term would be marked by a wave of politically motivated prosecutions and an erosion of the rule of law. They point to Trump's pardon of his longtime ally Roger Stone as evidence of his willingness to obstruct justice, to protect his friends and punish his enemies. Section 8, January 6th, a day of reckoning. The events of January 6, 2021 will forever be etched in the annals of American history. On that day, a mob of Trump supporters, fueled by his lies about a stolen election, stormed the United States Capitol in a violent attempt to overturn the results of the presidential election. The images of that day were shocking and surreal, rioters breaking through barricades, smashing windows and clashing with police.
The Capitol, a symbol of American democracy, was breached, and lawmakers were forced to flee for their lives. The January 6th insurrection was a direct assault on the very foundations of American democracy. It was a stark reminder of the fragility of democratic institutions and the dangers of political violence.
Section 9. The Unraveling. January 6th and its aftermath. The aftermath of January 6th has been marked by a deepening of political divisions and a growing sense of unease about the future of American democracy. The country remains deeply polarized, with many Americans questioning the legitimacy of the 2020 election and the Biden presidency.
The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack has laid bare the extent of Trump's efforts to overturn the election results, painting a damning picture of a president who was willing to subvert democracy to cling to power. The events of January 6th have left an indelible stain on American democracy. They have shaken public trust in government and raised serious questions about the country's ability to heal its divisions.
Section 10. The Stakes, Democracy at a Crossroads. As America grapples with these challenges, the stakes for the 2024 election could not be higher. The outcome of this election will determine the direction of the country for years to come and will have profound implications for the future of American democracy.
On one side stands Donald Trump, a figure who embodies the forces of populism, nationalism, and authoritarianism that are sweeping the globe. Trump's vision for America is one of grievance and resentment, a country defined by its divisions rather than its common purpose. On the other side stand those who believe in the promise of American democracy, who see the country's diversity as a strength rather than a weakness. They believe in the rule of law, the peaceful transfer of power, and the importance of protecting the rights of all Americans.
Section 11, 2024, a pivotal choice for America. The 2024 election presents a stark choice for the American people, a choice between a future of division and dysfunction or a future of unity and progress. It is a choice between two fundamentally different visions for America.
Will America continue down the path of division and distrust fueled by misinformation and political extremism, or will it choose to heal its wounds, bridge its divides, and reaffirm its commitment to the democratic ideals that have long defined it as a nation? The answer to this question lies in the hands of the American people, the The future of American democracy hangs in the balance, and the world is watching.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.